What's up, bros? This is Matt, aka Lloyd Milligan, and I'm bringing you a review slash impression slash recommendation, whatever you want to call it, for Gotham City Impostors. And I know this game has been out for a little while, but if you guys know me, you know that every time I play a game, I will give you a positive recommendation simply because I like new shit, and I don't know, I tend to enjoy new games. So with this game, with Blacklight Retribution, I decided to play them for a while and get a better feel. And the reason, before I did the recommendation, and the reason I did that is just so I would be able to know for sure if I like the game or not. And I also am going to try and keep it as objective as possible. I'm going to cover some specific categories and what I think about them. And I went to a video game review site to sort of get those categories just so I would give a sort of balanced opinion of this game. I don't know if you guys listened to our podcast, but I once did a review for Crysis 2, and 2 days later I went to post it, and I already thought that my review was idiotic because that game sucks. Or in my opinion, at least, that game was not very fun. But I sure thought it was fun that first day. Anyway, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing we're going to talk about are the real basics, and that is the graphics and the sound. So let's start with the graphics. And what I mean by graphics in this case is not just, like, I guess, how realistic or whatever, like your typical graphical discussion, but what I really mean is just how does the game look. And I think this game looks really cool. You know, it's not as polished as a full retail game. This game is $15, by the way, and so it's not as polished as a full retail game. There's some sketchy stuff that happens, weird camera angles. You'll get stuck in walls, especially on the kill cams or whatever. But overall, I think the game looks good. The graphics do not get in the way of the gameplay at all, and I think they actually help it. It's easy to pick out targets, and so yeah, overall I'd say that the graphics of this game are a positive as far as that's concerned. Now, the sound, I'd say pretty much the same thing, and again, it just, if you compare it to a full game like Call of Duty, and I tend to use Call of Duty as a basis for comparison. That's a game that everyone knows, but in comparison to that, this doesn't really come close, but you can sound for it. In other words, you can tell which direction action's going down, and overall, I think the sound is decent. It's not awesome, it's not super cool, but there's a lot of sound effects, and it contributes to the fun of the game. The fun of this game is sort of all the crazy stuff, the gadgets and the stuff. So yeah, I think overall that the sound is good, the graphics are good. Now let's talk about gameplay, and this is by and large what most people care about, I presume. And overall, this is, I think, really good. Let me break it down. It plays very much like Call of Duty, similar control scheme with aim down sight. There's perks, there's different weapons with attachments, there's grenades, there's kill streaks, so it's got a very similar feel. But what they've done is they've just added so many little things, little features. For example, every character has a way they get around the map. In this game, you're seeing me use the I guess it's like a grappling hook, or yeah, so if I can basically get anywhere on the map by just hooking up to it and pulling myself there. So that's one way. There's a glider, there's roller skates that you can, whenever you see these ramps on the ground, you can jump off those if you have the roller skates on. There's spring shoes, there's just so much, and then also there's stuff placed throughout the map to help you get around. There's trampolines, and it's just really, really in-depth, like all the little features they've added. And so yeah, overall, it plays really smooth. The controls are not like as crisp as Call of Duty, but they're pretty crisp. In general, when you want to shoot someone, you can. And yeah, it's a fun game. And as far as like depth, there's just so much depth. There's so many different ways to play this game. However, I have to mention that this is also basically the game's main problem is that they've put so much in the game, and you've seen it in Call of Duty. The more stuff they put in the game, the more chances that something is like a bitch move. So, or like cheap, I guess is the better way to say it. So like, your one-man army, danger close noob tubes. This game has 3 or 4 things like that are just the cheapest way to play. The easiest one for you guys to understand is there's health. There's little places on the map where if you stand, your health is regenerated. And people, especially in team deathmatch, people camp these like crazy. And there's also different perks and different attachments. One of the features that they added is based on your body type, you have more or less health. And there's perks like Juggernaut, basically, from Call of Duty that give you more health. There's another perk that makes it so bullets hurt less. And there's also an attachment that's a shield that makes you have more health. I'm not sure, but it has the same effect. So if you combine all these, it is so hard to kill someone. And people will do this. People just use all of these together and essentially have like maybe 3 or 4 times as much health as the average person. And I mean, I can understand why someone might think that's a good idea, but I think most people would agree that have played a first-person shooter, that giving one person that much advantage is just a crappy way to go about things. And so you find that everyone runs the shield because you kind of have to, or you're at a big disadvantage. So, so that's the main problem. There's a few things like that, and once you play, you'll figure them out. And it's frustrating when you come up against a team that's doing it. The other thing, if you play against a team much like Call of Duty, you will get shit on. You will get shat on. You will get destroyed. You will not want to play anymore. And in the matchmaking so far, there's only 3 choices, 3 different game types. The game types, by the way, are awesome. There's a domination-like game type, which is very, very similar to domination in Call of Duty. Then there's this other one called Psych Warfare, which is, I think, pretty innovative. It's kind of like sabotage, but it's hard to explain. You kind of just have to jump in and play it. But yeah, so overall gameplay, I give it a positive. It has some weak points, but I think it's worth it, especially at this price. And now let's move on to the lasting appeal. And this is an area where the game just really, really shines. So I'm showing you the menu system now, and it gives you an idea of the customization. Like I said, it's much like Call of Duty in the setup with guns, attachments, gadgets, grenades, perks, kill streaks, and they have different names for them, but you see them all there. And then there's also you can change your character's body type and the way his face looks and the way his voice sounds, and there's also a calling card, which is kind of like the emblem in Black Ops, and so there's just so much depth here. And then there's challenges. There's a million challenges and different camos to unlock. They've basically taken the best parts of all like recent first-person shooters and stuffed them in this game. And for $15, it's ridiculous. And there's also already this past week a new map came out. It was free to everyone who had the game. New map, and they put out 2 new weapons, which is pretty much unheard of, or at least for us Call of Duty guys. I guess other games do it, but for us Call of Duty guys, the idea of getting a new weapon mid-game is laughable. And so there's a new perk also, which is, I think they kind of listen to people, and it's for objective players. It helps them do the objectives quicker. So, yeah, I think these guys are going to listen to the community. I think they're going to keep putting out new content and all sorts of new content. And in the meantime, you can have fun just unlocking a shit ton of stuff. I've seen people already level 80, level, I think, 90. Someone told me that the level is capped at like 1,000. I'm not sure if that's true, but if so, that's bonkers. But yeah, guys, I think this game you'll have a lot of fun with it for a while, especially if you get some friends to get it also. And I recommend you guys get this game immediately. I'm gonna be playing it all the time. If you guys are on, send me a message. I'll play with you. This shit is fun and it's really cool. And that brings me to the summary. And basically, I just want to say I think this game is worth it. I've played it for a while now to make sure that it wasn't just something new and shiny. I think it's not. I think it has the potential to be around for a while in my rotation. And at the price that you get it, you can't go wrong. It's awesome. You're gonna have at least that much fun from it. I promise. And yeah, go ahead and send me a message, and I'll play with you guys anytime. All right, peace.